Good morning, dear students. My name is Lucas Kahare, and I'm the tutor for this subject, Educational Research 2, for those students doing Bachelor of Education honors degree. So this presentation is based on August examination 2017, and I wish that you will listen carefully and get the main important points for your examination. So let's just simply explain, for example, the components of this paper for Educational Research 2. The paper consists of 130 marks, okay? You will write up to 130 marks. And the paper, which consists of 130 marks, should have 3 hours. So you will sit for 3 hours for this paper. And you need really to prepare very well and make sure that when you come to exam, you are competent enough and you have mastered all the main learning outcomes that are needed for your examination. So let's just start just to discuss what we are going to talk about for this presentation. I'm simply going to focus on the course learning outcomes. I mean, just the main focus for your examination, and then some of, for example, the example of questions, okay? These are just for your exercise, not specifically they are in the exam, but just the layout, how the exam would look like. And for example, for you to know those terminologies in the exam, like describe, explain, illustrate, demonstrate, motivate, and so on, and how we should answer them. Quickly, which means that before, as you know, that examination is just about to approach, and I just want you to start reading now. Okay, take your book and read most of the things which you will hear from this presentation. And you know that if you read through your study guide, there are a lot of things for this subject, educational research, and most of the students, they end up like repeating the subjects, because when you start reading late, so you won't manage to pass this subject. So it's not a joke, and please take your time and start doing it now, or I think some of you already have started reading. So this subject consists of 19 units, almost 20 units, 19 units. Okay, 19 units. And you know that from unit 1 up to unit 19, so you need really enough time to master all the competence or all the learning outcomes. And this is not a one-day thing or 1 week. So what we are just going to look here is, I'm just going to give you the main point. Okay, I just combined most of the unit, but I just pick up the main learning outcome. Okay, for the main learning outcome where you should concentrate. So if you look at this, the learning outcome which I'm representing here, and go through your study guide, you will find them, and then just go to those main topics and read them and master them. For example, if here is the first one, for example, the importance of educational research. So probably this could be in unit 1. So you must know what is the main importance of educational research, and it's very well explained there. Okay, so for example, it make educators to research on the education system easier, and also the policy makers for the educational curriculum for them to understand. So they might go out and read some papers which have been established based on education. For example, there are many papers established like a classroom management, a teaching strategy, and so on. So when the educational policymakers make some decisions, so they have to go through these papers. So that's why this educational research is so important. And also you must know approaches to educational research. Okay, some of the approach, how are you going to approach the educational research and in doing research? So everything's there in your study guide, so we don't have time to, just we have 30 minutes and we don't have time to elaborate or to explain each unit. So this is just a highlight where I just put some basic learning outcomes, and if you want to know more, please, my email is provided, and also, yeah, my email is provided and my phone is provided. So you are welcome also to ask an extra information later. And also you must know the function of research. For example, what's the basic research, what's applied research, what's evaluation research, and what's an action research. Yeah, basically most of these things are in your assignment. So as I said from the previous student, exam, even in your study guide, explained that exam is being set based on the assignment that has been, the assignment that you wrote. So you have, I would like to advise you to go through the assignments. Even they are there on the portal, so I think the files, even most of the previous assignment, previous years, they are there on the portal. For example, assignment for 2016 educational research, okay, and the assignment for 2015 educational research, they are there. And even the assignment you wrote this year, okay, for 2017, they are there on the student portal. And you have to just go through all those questions for the assignment, and also using your study guide to answer those questions and study them. So the moment, if you master 80% or 90% of the assignment questions, so I don't think that you will fail this subject. So just do what I'm saying, just read all those assignment questions and answer them properly, and to know the units in which those questions are coming from, okay? So, and also you must know the evaluation, how you can carry out the quantitative research and qualitative research, and also how you differentiate what is a qualitative research and what is, the quantitative research, sorry, okay? That you should know the difference of those two types of research. For example, it's always a table where that differentiate the following type of research: qualitative research and quantitative research. Please know that table very well, okay? So you all know that a quantitative research is basically research that are statistical based, okay, and qualitative research is based on theory and so. So that one just differentiate more. There are many points where you can articulate and write to differentiate all this, okay? Please know those one, that table, you know what that table I'm talking about. And also know that if you are doing research, you can't just start writing. Maybe you come up on, maybe on the topic, like, yes, I want to research on how, for example, how to improve the pass rate of external examination for grade 12, okay? Or maybe why is less than 50% are qualifying to study at the university level, which is not able to meet 25 points or more. So yes, you research on that. So you can't just start writing, but what you must do is you have to also to get some sources, some information. It means you have to get to read some books, some literature review. So, you know, all those kind of, so that's why you must know what's the importance of a literature review. Okay, a literature review must know why is the purpose of a literature review. And it's also most of these things are in your assignment. And also you must know, for example, the primary and secondary source for literature review. So for example, what is a primary source and what is a secondary source, okay? And also we talk about descriptive statistics and the inferential statistics. So what are these, okay? And differentiate, yes, you know, descriptive statistics and then inferential statistics, you know, the differentiate and give example on those type of statistics. And also know, for example, you are being given maybe some, let me say, you have 20 learners in your class, okay, and they wrote a test, and they got different results. Maybe the other one got 80%, you know, so those one, the highest and the lowest, okay, and in the middle and the average and all that. So there are 20 students and each student got marks. So for example, you convert them out of 100%, okay, of those marks. Then from there, you can't just leave it like that. At least you have to calculate something that, okay, what's the average pass mark? So you want to know the average pass mark. Okay, and you also want to know, for example, those who got maybe 50%, how many got 50%? Yes, you want to know, and also how many of those got maybe 80% and low. So that's where you also know, yes, also some questions there, I think also in the assignment, you know, numbers, measurement, and the nature of data. For example, the means, median, and mode, and the description of data. Okay, you'll be asked to calculate the average, or the average of marks that students obtained. Okay, and also how many students maybe pass or so. Okay, know also those kind of things. And also those are, you must also know two sample t-tests, okay? You must know that one, and also sample t-test, single sample t-test, and the two sample t-tests, all those you must know, like those hypothesis things. Read a bit on those points. Also, be familiar yourself with the guideline for writing research reports and the dissertation or thesis. So I know that you are doing B honors degree, and yes, you will be, you have to be competent on how to write a research report, or I mean your thesis, okay? So you must know how to write the guideline which guides you on how to design the research thesis. Okay, what are components of those one, you know, the thesis topic, those the introduction and other, those literature books and so on. So they are there. So those are just a guideline. So use, at this point, you have to know that. Component of qualitative and quantitative research proposals. So if you know doing research, you have a topic, then you decide either you are you going to use a qualitative or are you going to use a quantitative? So if you are going to use quantitative, what are those components are you going to use? If you are going to use qualitative, what components are you going to use? Okay, so those are the, you have to know that. Okay, so you know that at that table, say that you classify, I mean the research types, like what is qualitative and quantitative, but they have some components now. So you decide your research, what type of are you going to use now, okay? Quantitative or either qualitative, but you have to provide some components for that. And the difference between the component of research proposals and the structure of thesis and dissertation. So you have to know the difference between when you a proposal and the structure of thesis dissertation. So for example, before, if you are, let me say, when you graduate even your master's, I mean your degree or your honors degree here, then you want to go for master's degree, or even maybe you have a master, you want to do your PhD degree. Before that, so you come up with a topic, and then that topic you have to, yes, you find a supervisor or yes, a leader for your topic. So then you send him the topic. Okay, this is the topic that I want to research on. But yes, he will take you. Okay, can you you write something? Okay, what is this topic all about? So then you have to now to do that, a proposal. Okay, you have to write a proposal. For example, the abstract of that research, introduction, and for example, the problem and how to solve it and how to overcome it. Okay, you have to explain it. So then your supervisor will go through and read. So if it's really you have, if your proposal is answering the question of your research or the topic of your research, so that is what also now you have to know the difference between component of research proposal and the structure of thesis. Okay, and done. So that is what we have discussed for the learning outcomes. Okay, please focus on those topics, those outcomes I gave you, because the main things about examination for each subject is based on the learning outcome. Okay, the learning outcome. So we can't just ask outside the syllabi or outside your course outcome. So everything's there in the study guide, and because you have 19 units, so there are a lot, but you have to read most of them. But those are the main things. I just touch a bit, and you have to concentrate more on those learning outcomes. So let us just go to some of the example of questions. Please be familiar with those verbs, okay? Describe, illustrate, demonstrate, elaborate, categorize. Okay, those ones, they are clearly explained in the study guides. We really don't have time to teach you, for me to explain what is, if the question say categorize, or if the question say differentiate, if the question say describe. Okay, so just know how to answer those questions, and maybe just discuss. Okay, so those are just simple few question here, and please answer them. Okay, this is just like your homework, or yes, of course, after this tutorial, please answer those questions there, going through your study guide and answer them properly. Like discuss the issue that you can address through educational research. Okay, what are those issues that you can address through educational research? Yes, we are going to go through. They are here at the end. They are also here on this slide. And also maybe you are given list of how quantitative and the qualitative research differ in their research strategies. Okay, how qualitative research and quantitative research differs. Okay, list measure data gathering techniques. So you know that when you carry on the research, either quantitative or either even qualitative, you have to go. There are methods for, you need information, you need data that you need to analyze and manipulate and find the result. What you must do, you have to use some methods to collect informations. Okay, what are those methods? You must know them. Yes, the interviews, the questionnaires, and so on. Example of those. You can list them. And also you must know what advantage of each gathering techniques, each method gathering technique. For example, what's the advantage of interview? And what are the limitations of interview if you use a strategy to gather the data for your research? Okay? You must know that. Every method has an advantage and then disadvantage. Also, you must keep the main, and also here the main point that you must include in your research proposal. If you are doing a research proposal, yes, you have a topic. Yes, I want to carry a research on this topic. Yes, I'm sending my supervisor a proposal. So what are the main important you should include into that? Okay? and also the type of errors that may occur in hypothesis testing. So let's just answer the first question. For example, just here maybe 2 or 3 questions. Okay, we don't have time. Then, for example, discuss what issues that you can address with educational research. For you doing research, what issues are you going to address? You should focus on. For example, actually, when it comes to educational research, yes, you can come up that, okay, I want to address on learning, okay? Or I want to address on teaching. I want to address on development, learners' development, okay? How can teachers should develop learners? And also I want to address issues on classroom management, okay? So those are issues, some of the issues you can carry research on, okay? For example, learning, you can do, for example, how do students best learn various subjects? How are they learning, okay, the students? For example, you can know a lot of learning. Example, if, for example, if it's learner-based competence learning or teacher-based competence learning and so on, and you know they did a lot of research and now they conclude which one, okay? Yes, that's why now the different type of strategy, teaching strategy, like you have learned if you did like teaching learning resources, you find out that there are some teaching strategy, for example, teachers-based or learner-based or experimental and so on. So these are most of the topics that you need to research on. And also teaching strategies like teaching methods. What is the best method in teaching for you to achieve better result or performance of the students? You also make a research on that, okay? And the issues like motivation, for example, what are the best practice for teachers to motivate their students to achieve high development? How do children and adults change over time, including their social and emotional skills? You can also research on those ones. Those are issues that come up in educational research, and in research you go on and discuss these issues. And classroom management, what classroom or school practice make the classroom optimal for learning? You see, those are some of the topics that you can carry on a research. Okay, leadership, school leadership managements. So how leaders are managing their school. So why is that some schools are performing while they have minimum resources, and why some schools are not performing though they have most of the resources, okay? Like they have well-equipped laboratories, they have enough learning resources like books, they have good building facilities, and so on. For example, why is some schools in Windhoek are not achieving 80% pass rate for grade 12 and grade 10, while the schools at the villages like in Oshakati, Rundu, Katima are achieving that result, but they don't have enough resources. But here they have, in Windhoek, they have good facilities, good buildings, and some of the resources and exposed. Why is that? What is the cause of that? Yes, you can make research on that. Those are issues that need to address in educational research, and you can find now a solution to those. Yes, and here is just a differentiation of qualitative and quantitative. So this is the table I talked about. Like quantitative, they look at the amount and quantities, and qualitative research look on qualities and so on. So you are familiar with that one. And also here, the main component that you must include in your research proposal. What are those ones? So here is just the main thing, okay? You must cover letter, project title or thesis title, general introduction or introduction, telling you what is your topic all about and why it's so important. Statement of research problem or research focus, the problem of your research, which means the research, you have to answer a question, okay? An explanation of research method or approach. What research method are you going to use? Are you going to use a mixed research or qualitative research or quantitative research or analytic research methods? You have to include it, that yes, I'm going to use this. Evaluation of ethics of the projects, statement of the expected outcome of the project, which means of the thesis. So after that, what are the solution, okay, the outcome you do, and what are the outcome that you expect from your research. Those are the main components you should include. All must be in your research proposal, okay? Those are the main points we discussed. Actually, we have come to end of our tutorial. Please, students, focus on those learning outcomes I gave you, and just go using your study guides. You will be able to find those information and focus critically and seriously on those information. And also, you are reminded that go through your assignments that you wrote and know it 100%. Actually know it 100%. Answer all those questions. And when you come to exam, make sure that you are confident enough to pass the exam. And I want all of you to pass this August examination. I really want all of you to pass. And I don't want a student to repeat this course, because I know that some of students repeat this course. So it's not that easy. Please read, and wherever necessary, just write. Actually, just write write me an email. Yes, I will be able to attend to your email. If you need some extra information, I'm able also to send it through the email. So my emails, as you see, kahare.lucas@yahoo.com. So you are able to contact me to that email. So I wish you all the best, that your examination will be so wonderful and you will pass it successful and get good result.